Amanda here from Create Your Future. Guys, I have an exciting video on thought transmission, and everyone is you pushed out, my favorite subject in the whole wide world. So this video is for you if you don't quite understand what we mean when we say everyone is you pushed out, or if you heard that everyone's a mirror of you. I'm going to answer that question and more. I think that sometimes I saw there's some information out there saying everyone was a mirror, and like if somebody lies to you, that means that you have a part of you that lies that you need to deal with. And that is so not true. So we're going to talk about everyone is you pushed out in thought transmission, which is basically the basis of the law of assumption. Okay. It is how things manifest in your reality, like how it actually works. So we're going to talk about that. Just before we do, guys, there are so many new subscribers. Everybody, welcome all the new subscribers here. For those of you who don't know, my name's Amanda, and I have a team of coaches that do weekly videos here, and we share a lot of knowledge with you on how to manifest. And you can even comment under your favorite coach's video and put a video suggestion, and the social media team will send it to the coach as a video suggestion. I think that's really great. I love that. It gives us ideas of what you want to see, and and we can talk about any topic in the context of law of assumption and manifesting something. So it's nice to know what you guys want to hear about, right? I do have 2 new affirmation tracks, how to manifest money and how to get your ex back, as well as I do have another one of how to get rid of the third party. The one about getting rid of the third party, though, doesn't actually focus on the third party. It focuses on you and your SP's relationship. So keep that in mind. And I also have a course, How to Create the Relationship You Love, which is on sale right now. And guys, exciting stuff. We do have a membership program on the channel. If you're a member, I do YouTube lives. And if you're a member, you get priority questions asked, and you do get a badge identifying that you are a member of this lovely community. And I intend everyone that's a member, you guys manifest what you want. Actually, I intend every single one of you guys manifest what you want easily and effortlessly. Okay. Oh, and for the rest of you that are new, we do have a free course, How to Identify Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. I wrote the course. It's excellent. It's going to help you to identify what thoughts are blocking you, what thoughts are getting you there. Like, for example, one thing that tripped me up early on is questioning, okay? So questioning is a block. Now, I'm not saying questioning how to do SATs or questioning what is a mental diet, those sort of questions. Those aren't blocks, but questioning if, let's say you're manifesting an SP, questioning if that person even likes you, or questioning if they want to be with you. Like, you need to be so solid and so clear about what your thoughts are and what you want them to think of you, because we're going to get into why that's important, because of everyone is you pushed out in thought transmission. Okay, so let's actually dive into that. So what is thought transmission? So this is Neville's explanation from his book, Prayer, the Art of Believing, chapter 5. Okay. And in the chapter 5, it's thought transmission. And he talks about how we're all just broadcasting towers. Your thoughts are constantly going out to everybody in your reality. Okay. So your car, everything. So I remember when I first moved into my house, okay, I got a fridge, a brand new fridge came with it, of course, right? And it was one of the fridges with like the ice machine dispenser and the water. Let me tell you, I had this fridge on a freaking pedestal, okay? Like, it was like everything to me. Like, this was my dream fridge. Like, this fridge was on my, what are those things? Oh my God, I know this is the tip of my tongue. You take pictures and you do a collage, right? Anyway, this fridge was on like my wish list, right? Anyway, so I moved into the house and Andrew's like, look, you got the fridge you wanted. I'm like, I know. I was so I had this fridge on such a pedestal, and I was constantly worrying about it breaking, that guess what? It broke. Broke. And I had to get a new one, right? So, I was so worried about it. And same with my microwave. Like, my microwave, there's nothing special about it, but like, it has like a frame around it so it fits in the wall, and it doesn't look like a microwave on a shelf, right? It looks like it's part of the wall. So I really love this microwave and the way it looks, right? So of course I had that on a pedestal, and I was worried that it would break and I'd have to replace it. Sure enough, it broke, but I got the exact same replacement one, and it's been fine. But your thoughts are constantly going out to everybody and everything in your reality, even your body, okay? And you control how everything, reacts to you and shows up for you, okay? And so, you know, everyone as you pushed out means that they're not a part of you. They're not mirroring back like something about you. So so this is what I've heard people say, that, oh, people are a mirror, like everyone's a mirror of you. They're mirroring back you. So if, for instance, somebody is dishonest, that means that you're dishonest and you need to change that about you. No, that's not true. Okay. You're perfect, whole, and complete. Okay. And everybody is just playing out your assumptions of them. So everyone is you pushed out, meaning everyone is your assumptions pushed out. Okay. Everyone is your assumption. Everything is your assumption. Okay. So if somebody is dishonest to you, then you need to change your assumption about them. I mean, if you want to change them, if you don't want to change them, then you don't have to, fix it or fire it. It's up to you. You don't have to recreate everybody because you're aware of, conscious manifesting. Okay. And so that's how everyone is you pushed out works, is everybody is a reflection of your assumption. So it may not be your assumption specifically about that person. It may be your assumption about a general group, okay? So an example of that would be is I had the assumption that basically all men that were previously married and divorced didn't want to get into a committed relationship again because, they didn't want to get hurt. So every time I tried to get into a relationship with someone who was previously married in my older years, I got that reflected back to me. Okay. So you may, so it may be a general assumption, or it may be a very specific assumption about one specific person. Okay. So basically all your assumptions, all your beliefs, all your thoughts are basically a sum total of what your reality is. All of those are reflected out to your reality. Okay. So how you create a third party with your thoughts may be very different to how somebody else creates a third party with their thoughts. Okay. Because there's many different ways. There could also be beliefs about yourself. Okay. So you are perfect, whole, and complete. Now, when everyone is you pushed out, remember, everything is empty and meaningless. But all of a sudden, let's say you want Jerry, okay? But then, he doesn't call you back. So you make that mean that he's rejecting you, okay? And the only reason he didn't call you back is because you had an assumption, right, that created that, or a belief that created that, or a thought in the moment that happened to create that, okay? And then all of a sudden you take it and make it mean that you're not good enough, okay? So if that's what you're doing in your reality, making things mean that you're not good enough, then yes, you definitely need to work on your self-concept, okay? Because you're perfectly whole and complete, and everything in your reality is empty and meaningless, and it has nothing to do with your self-worth. It has nothing to do with you, okay? So when you just observe in your reality from an observer point of view, right, it's just like hover above it, okay, and just take a look at it as an observer, okay? Don't give it any meaning, okay? It is just your thoughts that got pushed out. I know sometimes it's hard, some thoughts get pushed out. When they get reflected back, they hurt, and when you're creating those thoughts, because you'll have those thoughts in the moment and they'll make you upset, and then all of a sudden that's the first indication you're not going to be happy when they manifest. And then when they manifest, it's like, oh my goodness. So like, for instance, I was driving, and I was out and about with somebody, and basically, I said, well, let's go for lunch. And I suggested a place to go for lunch. And the person with me says, oh, I don't want to go there. There's going to be a big, long lineup. We're going to be sitting there waiting forever. And I was like, and they were actually getting upset thinking about this. Keep in mind, we had no idea if there was a lineup at this restaurant or not. And I was like, whoa, I'm like, you're getting so upset over something that A, hasn't happened yet. And B, you don't even know if it's true. You've just had an experience in the past where that's happened at that restaurant. And all of a sudden you're saying that's what's going to happen. And now you're getting upset about it. And I'm like, and the funny thing is, if we go to the restaurant and that actually happens, you're going to be upset. So right now, what you're creating a scenario that is going to make you upset because you're starting to get upset. So like, for instance, right, let's say, you want to be with Jerry and you want to manifest, them texting you back, and you text them and they don't text you back. Okay. All of a sudden, when you start to think, oh, they're rejecting me, they don't want to be with me, that thought upsets you. Don't think about it, because change it, because they're going to start thinking that they don't want to be with you and they're going to reject you. Okay. Because they're you pushed out. Okay. So when you text them and you want to text back, you really need to be consciously aware of what you're thinking about it, right? What's the story? Story time. I texted Jerry. He's going to get the message. He's going to call me back as soon as possible, and then if you notice he hasn't called you yet, you're like, no, he's going to call me right away. He's going to drop everything and text me because he always does. And you're going to keep persisting in your new story until, you make a shift, okay? Because, you know, I think sometimes we give up way too quickly. We say, well, you know what, I made 2 or 3 intentions in one day and it didn't happen. Yeah, but how long were you thinking negative about it? Oh, you know, it's been 8 months, no contact. But you try it for 3 days and don't get any results. No, you're going to have to put a little bit more work into it. It's like going to the gym physically, you know, you don't just go down and pump like 4 weights and start, you know, going to like bodybuilding, you know, competitions, you know, you've got to put the work in, right? You've got to put the work in, right? And make sure that you're not giving anything meaning, you know, and making sure that you are putting intentional energy towards what you want the person to think. Okay. So like, for instance, you know what? I intend Andrew loves me. I intend that he's loyal and that he always puts me first. I intend everything he says makes me feel good. He always calls me back. He always calls me when he's at work, you know, just all these things. Okay. You know, for instance, I got a new car a while ago. Well, actually, it's been 4 years now, but it still looks new because I intend it. I intend my car is going to look new. It's always going to run great. You know, and so my new fridge, I got a new fridge. I was like, okay, I'm going to have this fridge for the next 10 years. It's always going to run great. Like, create stories about what's in your life, how you want, you know, the machinery to act. Like my couch, you know, somebody said to me, they're like, oh, you know, those electronic lazy boys, they don't last long. I mean, mine's been like 7 years and it's still working just fine. Okay. So, you know, again, they had that story. Theirs broke down. I have a story that my couch is going to last until I decide to change it. Right. So whether it be a couch, a fridge, a microwave, a person, okay, take some time right now, everybody, and start writing out, what do you want your SP to think about you? Okay. You right now, as you're them, start writing it out. Okay. Or just start saying it out loud. You know, when you text them, what are they thinking? You know, this sort of thing. You can even do this with your body. You know, they do this in religion. They pray before they eat. They pray that the food's going to nourish their body and that they're going to be healthy. I mean, that's the same thing as making intentions. So, you know, you choose. You can say, okay, you know what? I intend that my body absorbs iron. I feel amazing. You know, my vitamin D is always at a great level. You know, everything I do makes my body healthier. You know, you can even intend that, you know what? I eat the right amount of calories that I need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, 5 pounds a week. I mean, whatever you want to do, right? You can, your doctor, you guys are looking, you know, say to have a good doctor, get good medical care. Great. I intend, you know, I have a good doctor. My doctor listens to me. He always finds out what's wrong with me easily and effortlessly. I trust his opinion. Okay. You know, my doctor thinks I'm amazing. He's always more than willing to help me. Okay. So yeah, anything that's not working in your life right now, take a look at what your story is and start changing it. Okay. And put at least 15 minutes a day into that story, on top of catching your thoughts and having a good mental diet. Okay. I think that's so incredibly important. Okay. I know that each and every one of you guys got this. I intend that this video absolutely helps you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.